The reason this is a big deal is because we have to look at the big picture and understand the battlefield against claims consulting companies like VA Claims Insider, Veterans Guardian, and all the other no-name companies that have started to pop up. On February 13th, California decided to take matters into their own hands when it comes to protecting veterans against these claims consulting companies. Now, I'm going to show you SB 1124 or 1124 here in a second so we can see exactly what California is actually trying to do. But to understand that big picture, I'm going to list out everything that's happening right at this moment. So first, New Jersey passed a state law preventing anyone from charging to assist a veteran for VA benefits. On top of that, Veterans Guardian challenged, they appealed the New Jersey Attorney General and lost in federal court. That's a big deal. Third, the Texas Attorney General guns for VA Claims Insider, Brian Reese and his wife, and that's probably the most famous one right now. And then on top of that, a veteran sues Just for Veterans, which is a small claims consulting company out of Maryland, and they are being represented by Pell's Law. And then there are two class action lawsuits. One is against VA Claims Insider, that is from a group of attorneys and claims agents arguing unfair advantage. And the other class action is from a veteran against Veterans Guardian. And finally, in the state that I live in, which is Virginia, has a bill sitting at the state Senate that is likely to be passed here very, very soon. Now, all of this happened within about 6 months of each other, okay? And now California follows suit. So yeah, it's going to be a big deal. Whether you support these actions or not, here are the facts. The arguments for all of these cases are the same, okay? States want to protect veterans, and these companies are conducting predatory practices that are illegal. That's objective, okay? There's no feeling based there, both at the federal level and against state consumer laws. And second, attorneys and claims agents are constrained to act within the law while these companies target that same audience but are not bound by those same laws, at least not yet. And that gets at the unfair advantage piece. The arguments used in support of these companies they really boil down to two, okay? One of them is not good, one of them is really good. The first one that's not good is basically the VA sucks, right? The VA sucks, the VSOs, they suck, attorneys suck, and agents suck. That's what these claims consulting companies are arguing. It's a bit more than that, but that's the basis of the argument, which is not a good argument in my opinion. The second argument, which is a very, very good argument, is that a veteran should have the right to choose who represents them. Okay, that is absolutely these companies' best argument when it comes to fighting any of this legislation. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at what California has to say about this whole deal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read the first two paragraphs verbatim so you get it straight from the horse's mouth, and then I'll kind of break that down Barney style. But here it is, California SB 1124, and it is called the Deceptive Practices, Service Members, and Veterans. Okay, so I'm going to read these first two paragraphs verbatim and not put my spin on it until the end, okay? The Consumers Legal Remedies Act makes unlawful certain unfair methods of competition and certain unfair or deceptive acts or practices undertaken by a person in a transaction intended to result or that results in the sale or release of goods or services to a consumer, including charging or receiving an unreasonable fee as defined to prepare, aid, or advise in any prospective applicant, or recipient in the procurement, maintenance, or securing of, and here we go, key phrase here, public social services as defined to include, among other things, veterans' pensions. So right now, when it comes to veteran benefits, it's solely focused on veterans' pensions. What this bill aims to do is expand the definition, okay, to include all VA benefits. So this bill would expand the definition of public social services to also include other veteran benefits. And there it is. The bill would also expand the definition of an unreasonable fee to include a fee charged with respect to federal veteran benefits that exceeds the amount that could be charged for those services by an attorney or a claims agent by the United States Department of Veteran Affairs. This last part here is absolutely crucial, and I'm going to put that in plain speak for you, okay? So what we see happening is this is absolutely huge. This is a big piece of legislation, but the arguments or the proposals, are different than Jersey, than Virginia, and then all the other lawsuits in Texas and the class actions, okay, in Maryland. In this one, California isn't saying that you cannot charge, but if you're going to, you have to stay within the bounds of an accredited attorney or claims agents. What that means is these companies would only be able to charge up to 33.3% for appeals only. And to be clear, they would not be able to charge for initial claims, right? Or those easy claims that these companies are targeting. This will absolutely come as a big hit against these companies as California homes a megaton of veterans. And to be exact, it is 1.8 million veterans that live in California, which is more than any other state. So looking at your audience pool and supply and demand, California is a big deal. Looking at the current landscape or the battlefield against the VA and all these veterans that are against these companies and these companies, if I was in business of charging veterans to assist them with their VA claim, I would absolutely start closing shop and finding ways to become accredited to prepare to change my business model. That's just me, and that's what I would do. I would recommend that for anyone that is in that claims consulting business area, and that does include some of these YouTubers, okay? Now, everyone knows personally how I feel about the whole claims consulting company business. I'm not a big fan, right? Now, there are arguments for and there are arguments against, and what it boils down to for me is I want veterans to make an educated and informed choice and not be taken advantage of when it comes to predatory practices. So for instance, if I have a claim, okay, the only thing that pushes the claim through, it doesn't matter who represents you, right? An attorney, a claims agent, a company, VA Claims Insider, doesn't matter. None of that is, all of that is irrelevant, okay? The only thing that pushes your claim through is your evidence. So if I had a claims consulting business and a veteran walked into me, right, and they had zero evidence, I would do my best to find what I need them to, what they could submit, send them to a medical opinion or to get a DBQ, and then submit those claims, hoping that they would stick. Okay, hoping that they would stick. On the second veteran, I have a veteran that walks into my office, right? They have all of the evidence they needed, and I'm just salivating. This is an easy claim. I can absolutely win this. I'm going to charge this veteran 6 times, 5 times the increase, or heck, a flat rate of $3,500, right? They have all the evidence, and all they needed to do was submit. Both of those have predatory practices within them, okay? That's what these legislations are really getting at. There's also a huge PACT Act argument, especially for presumptives. Have veterans been charged for presumptive claims? You bet your bottom dollar they have. And it really sucks when those presumptives go from 90 to 100%, meaning all they had to do was file and they would have been 100%. That charge at 6 times the increase is about $25 less than $9,000 of a fee. That is a predatory practice.